Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. Let's talk
Yeah.
about water.
Okay.
Where
Well,
do we start?
let me explain some backstory if I can here.
Please.
Okay. So what's happening with the water right now around the planet? Thousands of years ago, even 1,000 years ago, the water was pristine. It was structured. It was energized. It was full of minerals and nutrients and vitamins. And it would come down to the valley. It provide what needed for the people, for the corn, and everything else. Well, water. What's been now established through Jacques Benveniste in 1988, really established homeopathy and water had memory. But who really popularized it was Dr. Emoto, because he took the idea of the sound and he played the sound. You could actually see the difference in the clusters.
Right.
But truly, it came from. There's a lot of people that have been involved with water as memory. But if you start saying water has memory, that means two things. Number one, it's programmable. So it's harmonic and disharmonic memory. And the other thing is, if you start saying water has memory, it undermines allopathy. It undermines Newtonian physics. So what happens is it's immediate discredit. So when we're talking about water today, water, if you look at, is a liquid crystal computer. Now that liquid crystal computer is remembering the water treatment. It's remembering the EMF waves affecting the DNA. It's remembering the 110 different chemicals, pharmaceuticals and so forth that are in the water supply. And it's showing up then as very big dynes, let's say 75 to 80 size dyne, which is drop size, which is called dynes. And that means it can't get through your stomach wall because we digest 40 to 60 size dynes. And so people are running around drinking water, and they're dehydrated. So there's other companies out there that make something called structured water. There's the difference in this technology that I work with is you can structure water by putting marbles in a body or turning water upside down and spinning it. That'll provide a vortex function. The vortex is important because that gets the microclustering. That gets the ability to penetrate and reduce those dynes I talked about. So they go faster into your cells and tissues. Okay. What's missing in most of the technology is what's called the energetic capacitance. Okay. We just talked about it.
That's what
it's our rings. So we have 4-step process in this technology. First of all, the vortexing, and this is really simple. Think about when you watch water in the ocean or you watch it, what's happening? Waves are hitting upon waves, right? They break apart and they create energy. So a 1-drop cluster can become microclustered into 10 drops. Okay. So that penetrates cells and tissues faster. Okay. When you're looking at a river stream, you see water going over rocks and so forth and so on. That's natural. That's natural water.
Sure. So you're basically replacing, and we haven't showed it to you yet.
This is one of the technologies. This is called a handheld. When you pour it through, you activate that emitting, and then it does its thing. So it breaks apart the clusters to make them smaller. It energizes the water, and then the capacitance of the minerals and nutrients and vitamins go into the water, and that's the same as a CD. So you're like, well, how does sound get on a CD? Like it's just a piece of, it's called frequency loading. Okay. So remember, our water has memory. Right. So we're erasing all that disharmonic memory, and we're reloading the memory with those beneficial biological frequencies. Nice. Right through the cells and tissues. And then you have that piezoelectric charge, which is that spark. Right. And the body goes, that's the way water used to be. Right. So it doesn't matter what the source water is. It can be, it can be your tap. It can be bottled water. And this is one example. I have a smaller one that's going to be coming out in cobalt blue in about 3 or 4 weeks from my new manufacturer in Europe. This is essentially a bottle topper. You screw it onto a bottle of water. And then we jump for the inline, we start doing stainless steel.
This is for the home. This is what you're putting on.
This is what you would put on. This is a basically shower under sink or a hose unit. And then it's a little bit longer and thicker, maybe a 1-inch line, 1-inch size for pipe, 1-inch, 1/2 inch, and 3/4. And that does an entire house. Well, when you put that water, the home unit on your entire water line, it entrains your entire house to have those minerals and nutrients, so you got a dome of healing.
But I love what Anna Pova said. I want to read that to you. I feel it, taste it, and it's so good. Pure light and love frequency. Thank you, Mama. It's working.
Thank you.
If we're drinking bottled water, do we want to stick to drinking bottled water, or can we go back to tap?
It's a really difficult question, and it's a question that people will not want answered. but
we're going to answer it today.
Answer it today.
All right.
The water's dead.
Yeah.
The water's destructured. It's dead on arrival.
Chemicals and poison.
Just think about it. There's two things to think about here. Number one, water was never meant to go in straight lines and right angles. We pipe water from the Industrial Revolution forward. Okay, water's not meant to be that way. It's meant to flow, spin to the right, spin to the left, create that helix, create that double helix, that float form. Okay, number one, that creates energy, and it creates that vortexing, creates energy, and it creates smaller clusters. When that water comes to your tap, doesn't matter if your tap, your office, whatever, it has absolutely been completely chaotically designed. By that time, you've got. See, water is supposed to go through the hydrologic water cycle, which is precipitation, evaporation, and so forth. Well, that water just keeps going through the water treatment, So first of all, filtration is creating chaos in the water, pushing it through membranes and everything else, not natural. And then you've got right now 110 chemicals and pharmaceuticals still in the base of the water.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's really important here and why this is happening is that the filtration is not taking out the biophotons. The bioavailability of all the stuff that's in the water is still in the water. Because we look at water from a chemical composition, Newtonian perspective. But if you look at Bruce Lipton's work, he's talking now about quantum fields and wave forms. So what are we doing? Here's the thing. In an acorn is an oak tree, right? So the informational field in an acorn knows to be an oak tree. Water has an informational field. You and I have an informational field. And all of these outside influences, electromagnetics, it's really a hard thing to say. This is altering you and I's informational field. So when we drink water, we reset that. And so the source water is coming to your door really dead and chaotic and not happy. So you're drinking unhappy water.
Not anymore.
And it's processed. But on a chemical composition level, it's great. It's pure. It's clean.
Yeah.
But vibrational frequency-wise, nada.
No.
And so what this does is this duplicates nature. And, it's one thing to say, well, let's structure it. Okay, that's a term that's used a lot these days. Let's structure the water. Okay, so that's not my term. My term is let's optimize the water. What I'd invite us to look at is that we're full spectrum beings. But we're not looking and being introduced to and interacting in our life as full spectrum. So we're getting more full spectrum from these two things, which is helping our immune system. And the history of this with agriculture will tell us that plants and animals don't lie. 10, 15 years in agriculture, we've had results after results. India, China, Sri Lanka, United States. We know that it works. We've had chickens increase their feathers and increase their weight by putting this on the well water. Same thing. Born well water is also destructured. When I say source water, it's whatever you're drinking. Bottled water? Oh my God. And so you push it through a membrane and it's like, so think about it. Do you want to drink water that has the memory of all the crap that you've said to the water, of all the chemicals, because all those frequencies, all those depression medications, that's just frequency, all the Comet, the cleaners, all this stuff, and then you filter it through a membrane and it goes, whoa, what happened here,
So it just kills it.
It just kills it. So you want to take it back to nature, and it's really amazing how we do it because we just restore those vortexing, that flow, that movement, reintroduce those biological, magnetic fields and frequencies. Nature on its own will, through the hydrologic water cycle, clean itself. But we're too busy. Man has
we've
harnessed water,
right.
made it a machine. Yeah.
So the machine is killing us.
Right.
So we go back to getting it naturally.
Yeah.
Tell me about how long can we start seeing changes in our own bodies? You can taste it, you can feel it right away. So talk to me about what results are we going to be getting other than pain-free?
Well, that's another one. Yeah. You're going to get more hydration, more absorption. Hydration is a big factor because those drop sizes aren't getting through. They're not going what's called the aquaporin channel. They don't process. You're going to get more minerals and nutrient delivery in the water. The water becomes a carrier. And then you got about 250% more oxygen, which has its own medicinal benefits, more oxygen. And then ionization. So all of that's happening in this technology. And so energy, transformation, rejuvenation. There isn't any aspect of our life that doesn't include water or flow for electricity. But here's the thing. If you drink a gallon of regular bottled water or tap water and you jump up and down on a trampoline, it's going to slosh around. If you drink a gallon of structured water, it soaks in. It's something, so it gets past something called surface tension.
Oh, interesting.
So surface tension.
The cells are taking it all in.
Cells are taking it all in.
We are getting hydrated.
Getting hydrated, right. You're getting hydrated at a new level. And because of the paramagnetic and the energetic capacitance, you're getting minerals and nutrients delivered right through that system.
Right.
So anybody who's in any situation, whether it's fitness, whether it's health, whether it's a nursing home, just your family, drink through this technology, your source water, because you're getting those minerals and nutrients and frequencies that you're not getting. Right. So it's immediate. And so the question that you're going to ask me sooner or later is, well, what about fluoride? You know, and I'm like, because it's going to come up. Okay. There are certain things and frequencies. Again, filtration doesn't work as far as the actual full spectrum. It does clean, and I recommend filtration. Then energize, optimize the water, put the minerals and nutrients back in it. Not even mineralize. That's not enough. You actually have to restructure it on a molecular level, subatomic, atomic level. Optimize. That's what we're doing with this. The thing is with fluoride, it's a frequency. Okay, so with chlorine, if you run chlorine through this unit, the technology changes the molecular structure of chlorine. So it's not a harmful haloquin anymore at a molecular atomic subatomic level. So what we're doing is then we're taking that fluoride, and we're not filtering it because it's not filterable at that micron level. Right. But we're changing its energetic footprint. Right. So okay, so she wants the wine.